finished up practice yesterday. It was warm outside. After 2 days kind of off, we had a walkthrough. Sunday was off. Monday was walkthrough. Tuesday was probably not the caliber of practice we need to have. I didn't think it was one of our worst practices, but which is typical because they come off scrimmage, they come off 2 days off in school, and all of a sudden they think it's going to be easy, and it's not. So we didn't practice very good Tuesday, but we had a better practice today. The leaders stepped up, challenged them to have a better practice. And I thought they had a better practice today.
At this point, when you're looking at your leadership like that, is that something that they, kind of take on themselves? Do you go to the leaders and say, "Hey, challenge"? I want us to challenge the team, or is that something they go?
Well, sometimes I call in the leadership group, talk about it. I didn't in this case. I talked about it in the team meeting and just said we didn't practice very good yesterday, and they saw it. They knew it. We had clips. We had a lot of bust. A lot of what happens when you take 2 days away. It's almost like some of the information just evaporates. So the young players struggle. Nobody really wants to hit anybody, so they think that they're game ready, and they're not. So we went out and had a more physical practice yesterday and today.
Kirby, what have you seen from Eric Stokes over the past couple of years and how he's developed here from a guy who didn't play a ton of corner in high school?
He's done a nice job developing. He came in last year in a kind of a backup role, ended up winning the starting job by the way he played. He made some big plays in some big games. Did a nice job. He's in competition right now. I mean, there's 3-4 guys out there at corner that are competing, and he knows that he's got to step it up and play well every day because we're only judged based on our last play. He's challenging for one of those starting positions.
Now that DeAndre Baker's gone, is he a guy that you're looking at to kind of be a leader in that secondary?
Yeah, I mean, Eric is a very bright, conscientious guy. Very different than Baker because they're just two different kind of players. But Eric's been an asset for us, and I think he understands our defensive concept. So the best thing he does is lead by communicating.
Obviously, we haven't seen Jamari and Kobe. What are their statuses at this point?
They're both out there at practice halfway through. They work with the trainers early on, and they've both been dinged up, but expect both of them full recovery anytime soon.
As far as the, overall progression that coach at this time of year wants to see from your team or your approach, game one, kind of what's your, feeling kind of the way you guys are right now from that standpoint?
I don't really know what you're asking.
Well, just what do you think, how you guys progress from to where you are to where you are right now heading to the first game, kind of where you want them to be?
I'm never satisfied with where we are. I mean, I get that question a lot, and I never know how to answer it. I really don't. Are we where we need to be? I don't know that because I think we could have done better to practice before that, and I want every practice to be good. So if they're not good, I get frustrated with it, but I'm not disappointed with the way our team's practiced or where we are as a team. But we got a lot of work to do, and we still got time to do it. I mean, we're not working on Vandy yet. We as coaches are, but as the team and the players, we're trying to sharpen iron. Iron sharpens iron. We're trying to go good on good to get competitively better.
Not to read into anything, but Swift's wearing a non-contact jersey. What's the?
Yeah, that was just so y'all would focus on that and not see the other stuff. It obviously worked. So y'all missed. I hadn't seen it written yet, and I didn't want you to see, but you got that good. So I'm glad y'all got that.
What have you seen this fall out of Quay Walker and Channing Tindall, and how, if at all, are they impacted by Kobe's injury?
I'm confused by that question. How are they doing? I can tell you how Channing and Quay are doing, but it really has nothing to do with Kobe's injury. I mean, Channing's doing really well. He's explosive. He's valuable for us on third down. He's one of our top special teams players on the whole team. Quay has improved immensely. He's in competition to play or start. He's very instinctive. He's a good blitzer. Quay has improved a lot from last year. But both of those are separate from Nakobe because whether Nakobe's there or not, they're practicing the same number of reps.
A guy like Jermaine Johnson, kind of where is he kind of looking right now? How is he doing?
I don't know that Jermaine's been full speed early in camp. He had sprained his ankle a couple times. He practiced and did everything, but he wasn't. I don't think he was 100%. But I thought in the scrimmage the other day, there were some plays that he showed burst, acceleration, kicking situations, and some edge situations that he did a really nice job. So we were very pleased with his jump from scrimmage 1 to scrimmage 2, but he's not where he needs to be. He has to improve, to continue to improve, to be able to say, this guy's going to help us down in, down out. Now, I do think he's going to help us on special teams, and he's fighting for opportunities to get reps, but he's fighting with Aziz, Walter, Nolan, Robert. I mean, there's some dudes over there competing in that.
And what's the focus for this final scrimmage coming up on Saturday?
No, we won't have a scrimmage on
Oh,
Saturday.
okay.
We'll be moving to Vanderbilt,
Okay.
so we won't have a scrimmage. We'll have a good physical practice, but it won't be a scrimmage. But the focus is, but for Saturday, will be for Vanderbilt. But right now, it's on us.
Will you have the time to even watch the Florida Miami game, even spectator at curiosity?
I don't know what time is it.
7 o'clock.
Yeah, if we're done, we probably will practice that day, but we'll have some work to do on Vandy, some game planning. If I get home, I'll certainly watch it. But if I'm not at home, then I'll be up here working on them.
What do you think about August 24th start date? Do you like season starting that early? Could you see it moving up a little bit? You'd rather have a bye week later in the season to start earlier?
I'm not. I don't really have a preference either way. I'm a lot more traditional, where it's packed into however many weeks. I don't know how many weeks we have. 13, 14 weeks. Some years we have a 2-off week, and some years we have 1-off week. But my biggest fear or concern in that format is bringing the players in earlier. And people will argue, bring them in earlier, give them a break. Bring them in earlier, you reduce their summer, you reduce their opportunity to be with their families, you reduce the coaches' opportunities. So I'm kind of either way on that.
Kirby, a big picture question. With the way the program has been the last 2 years, do you view anything short of a national title as a disappointment?
That question is just, I don't view success and failure just on that. I think you guys do. I think some of the things you guys write where it's this or bust or this or that and this. Here's what we're focused on. How good can we be tomorrow? Can we be the best we can? Do they have expectations at Georgia? Absolutely they got expectations, and we got them for ourselves. But I'm not going to measure success and failure on one thing. It's not fair to these kids who give everything they got to the program, and they blood, sweat, and tears, and all the people in the organization that give everything they got to measure success and failure on one thing. I'm not gonna do that. You guys may do it, fans may do it, but everybody has their right when it comes to that. I'm worried about what we're gonna do in the next 15 minutes when I go up here and watch this tape.
Can you put it in perspective, building on that question? You were the one that said 24-5 wasn't good enough. Is that in
I said do more is what I actually said. So when you go 24-5, we want to do more. And that's really what the mantra is. 24-5, we want to do more. If we were 29-0, I would say that we needed to win the other ones by more. So it's never enough. You show me a person that's satisfied with what they've done, and they're done. It's called retired. So that's just not the way I look at things, and that's not the way that this program's going to be run, that you're in constant pursuit of excellence, not perfection. And we're trying to be excellent.
Kirby, you strategize and evaluate you guys as a coaching staff so much. How eager are y'all at this point? Because at the end of the day, until you finally can play, you can't be 100% sure of what you're looking at, right? How eager are you on that front?
Well, I'm not eager. I'm eager to see these guys get better. I do agree that at some point you have to go play somebody to get better. We need practice. We need to improve, but we need to play somebody else to be able to do that, because you get to a point where you play the same guy, you see the same thing. You only have so many defenses or so many offensive sets or plays, and it's like, you can't get bored with the basics. So you want to go play somebody, and to grow and get better, we've got to get some experience in some spots we don't. We've got to go out there and experience playing somebody else. So, I'm looking forward to that part for our players, and I'm sure Derek's the same way at Vandy. He's not worried about us right now, but he's also ready to go play somebody else other than himself. And those kids are the same way. That's the hardest management right now. It's like the kids are like, man, when's the game?
He talked about, speaking of that, he talked about his friendship with you. You had an extended amount of time with him. Can you elaborate on that? Yeah,
we've always had mutual respect for each other. He's a defensive coach at Stanford. When we wanted to go out there and visit and talk ball, and he worked for Coach Shaw. He goes on a Nike trip with some of the Nike coaches there at Nike school. So got to meet his wife and hear about his family, and he got to meet my wife and experience some downtime together in the off season. And just got a lot of respect for Derek and the way he runs his program. That goes at the SEC coaches meetings too.
Kirby, how much separation is there between some of your first teamers and second teamers on the offensive line?
Some a lot, some a little. Does that answer it?
I know Andrew Thomas is going to be hard to push, but in terms of, are there some guys that you want to get into a game, whether they're starting or not, because they can really help you?
Yes, that's true. There's some guys I want to get in the game that won't be starting that can help us. I agree with that. I don't know if I'm answering your question. I really don't know what you're asking, but there are some tight battles in the offensive line, yes. And there's some that aren't tight. But there are some guys that deserve to play that we hope to be able to play.
What about sort of the same question at receiver? Is there any separation of, we know these couple, 3, 4, whatever guys are definitely going to be the first few guys out there?
No, I mean, we haven't decided any starters yet. I don't think. Tyler Simmons is a starter for us, assuming that he's healthy and we're ready to go. But outside of him, there's battles at every one of those positions. The slot, the receiver opposite him, the 2D at receiver. There's really, it's every day, and guys rotate positions and play all kinds of positions. Tyler's probably a little bit ahead of the other guys just from experience. But outside of that, it's wide open.
What's been your impression of the battle for that star position this preseason, and how have those guys looked at it? How is it shaping up?
They've both done a good job, man. They're both competitive, and both those kids probably deserve to play. They've worked really hard, and they're different. I mean, they're similar. They're similar body types. They're physical, but they're different, and they've both done a good job. We hope to be able to keep guys fresh and play the best guys. Sometimes you got to go with the hot hand, and sometimes you got to go with the guy that had the best week of practice. But the good thing is you can't relax because the guy behind you is just as good as you, and he's trying to get a winning job too.
You're talking about Mark and Devad there.
Yeah, I'm talking about Mark and Devad and Poole. Poole's been in that mix too, but Mark and Devad are a little bit bigger and a little bit more physical.
Is that a situation where maybe the guy who doesn't win that job kind of is more of a factor in that dime package, that money position that Mark?
Well, they
played
both
last
are.
year?
Yeah, they already are that. I mean,
Okay.
the dime package. They both play money. They both play star. Their backups both play money and star. So I mean, we don't go out there and play the same dime group very often because we want to get a lot of guys experience. We learned that last year that any given time a guy goes down, you got to have guys trained at multiple positions. So they'll do each one of those guys will do both.
Watching some past games of last year and the year before, you see Tyreek McGee on the field a lot, and I have a hard time figuring out how he's fitting in at this point. I know he's got a lot of competition. Is that a guy who's really having to fight off competition? You weighing that against his experience?
Well, he's played a lot in the last couple of years, especially last year. This year he hasn't played as much star for us. We had to get a little bigger and more physical at that position, but he's very similar to Aaron Davis. I mean, he can go play corner, he can go play star, he can go play money, he can go play safety. Now, Aaron played a lot for us because we didn't have the depth when Aaron was here, and I expect Tyreek to play a lot. But Tyreek is a very dominant special teams player who can play strong safety, free safety, star, money, and corner. Very unique player. He's a utility guy that can play a little bit of everything, and we expect him to do that. And he's in competition to get playing time at really all positions outside of, really haven't played much star because we've got those other guys reps.
Going back to receiver, how's Trey Blunt look this fall?
Who's that?
Trey Blunt.
Trey's done a great job. He's had some good scrimmages, man. He's tough, makes the hard catches, one of our best blockers. Very consistent. Very consistent.
With Tyler Simmons, what other than experience has really sort of allowed him to sort of get a little bit ahead in that wide receiver room?
Well, other than experience, I would say his practice habits and his speed.
You guys have had a couple 1,000-yard rushers the last couple seasons, obviously. Is that still in the cards and how you think those carries are going to be split up? Is that realistic to think that can happen again this year?
Yeah, I mean, in a perfect world, I want success, and I want success for each one of those players. If each one of those backs have success, could you end up where nobody gets 1,000 and 3 or 4 guys get really close to 1,000? You could, but we don't know how it's going to play out because we don't know the health of things and how things are going to go and what plays. The defense dictates sometimes what we do offensively because we check a certain thing, so you can't control it. I'd love to have 2,000-yard rushers again. I think it helps you recruit. It helps you have guys that are kind of the bell cows, but I'm not past playing 4 backs, if that's what you're asking.
Speaking of that running back room, what have you seen from James this preseason?
Very much more consistent with his pass pro, much more consistent with his ability to break tackles and make runs. First of all, he's a great player in space, and last year he was just kind of feeling his way through. He didn't understand motions and shifts and all the different things. Now he's much more consistent, and he's had an opportunity to show that. And I feel like James has had a really good camp.
2 more questions?
Do you know on kick and punt return?
No, Tyler, Kieris, B-Rob, DeAndre, we keep them all back there. So I mean, today they had they had 6 or 7 opportunities each. So we're just throwing haymakers at them, trying to make it hard and trying to get them game ready. But we're not ready to name anybody.
You talked about Trey Hill to start preseason camp, and you had a lot of praise for him. Now that you've had a second extended look at him with the 1 unit, has he progressed? Has he grown to your liking thus far?
Trey's a talented player. He probably hadn't had his best 2 days. The last 2 days, he's a competitor and he'll bounce back from it. But he had a good camp early, but I think he's at that point of hitting a wall of saying, okay, I've got to continue to get better to grow to where we can be elite as an offensive line. I think he'd be the first to tell you that. Thanks.